Hello everybody, I'm Dee Sims. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm doing a tag created by Dee Sims called the Be Bold tag. My message is be bold, be happy. I understand that human beings cannot be happy 100% of the time. However, you can choose to be a generally happy person, a generally positive person, a person who does not let life's challenges get you down for too long. I have a physical disability, and I have met some wonderful people who I probably would not have met had it not been for my physical disability. My physical disability taught me almost from birth how to deal with tough situations in a positive way. In order to be happy, you can't sweat the small stuff. You have to be able to let things go sometimes. That's not to say that if your feelings are very hurt, that you should keep it inside of you and not tell people that you're hurting, because that is not a good thing to do. It's not healthy. To be a positive person is very healthy. Sometimes to be a positive person, you have to acknowledge when you're feeling down and acknowledge it to the people around you and confront the issue so that you can resolve the issue, whatever it is that is bothering you. In order to be a happy person, you need to be positive and try to stay away from unnecessary negativity. My best friend in the world was very sick, and he expected to die. And thank goodness that he didn't die. He is the most positive person that I know. He is strong, he is capable, and he doesn't let anything get him down for too long. He meditates. He tries to keep his fear level down. I was upset recently and was telling him about some of the fears that I have. And he told me there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And what he was trying to tell me was that being fearful and being negative is not helpful and it's not healthy. We as human beings need to be thankful for everything that we have so that we can be positive, loving, happy people. And if we are more positive, we will be a healthier people. I know that I went through something recently and I felt that what I was going through took a toll on my physical health. And when I stepped away from the situation, everything returned to normal. For the most part, I'm still working on some things, but physically, everything returned to normal, and I'm getting stronger every day. And this best friend of mine, who survived all those years ago, thank goodness, told me that the situation that I was in was a very toxic situation. And I know he's a positive person, and I'm a positive person, but I still didn't make the connection. I thought to myself, maybe he's wrong. Maybe this is just how it's gonna be. Because even positive people get sad sometimes. Maybe this is just how it's going to be. Maybe I'll leave my situation and things won't get better physically. But I was wrong. And my best friend, he was right. I needed to get out of that situation, and then, thank goodness, my health returned to where it had been. And I am so thankful that I met this best friend of mine. And positive people are the people that I love to be around the most. Because being around positive people keeps you positive, and being around negative people can make you sad. It can make you depressed, and eventually, when you spend all your time with negative people, they can make you think that there's no way out of the negativity, but there is. I made my sim not only tearful, but clumsy. And I made her clumsy because it says that clumsy Sims tend to laugh at failure instead of becoming upset. There have been so many times that I have failed or thought I failed at something, and I just pick myself up and try again. No, I don't laugh at failures, but I make sure that they make me stronger, and I try not to make the same mistake twice. And I'm thankful for what I have, and I'm hopeful to have more of what I want. And I'm thankful for this best friend who that I have, who is the most positive human being that I know. Anything that he goes through, he just dusts himself off, picks himself up, and says, "Okay, now what can I do to fix this? What can I do to make it a success out of my life? What can I do to be a successful person? What can I do to help others? And what can I do to help myself become a success?" And he can do this very quickly. He can have something happen to him that would be very traumatic to someone else. For example, he could have a job fail, and the next day he's looking to get the next job, get the next business, because that's the kind of person he is. He feels that no matter how hard life gets, you just have to keep going. And now, thank goodness, he is a very healthy person who exercises all the time. And this all helps him to be a positive person. And he helps me remember the positive person who I am, that I am. I have always been a positive person, but when I went through a certain situation recently, I forgot sometimes to be positive, and that's why it was affecting my physical health. So, be happy, and you will see that your life can be filled with health and fulfillment. If you need help to get happy, to get healthy, reach out for that help. And I think that if you need help, when you get it, you'll be surprised by what you find. You'll be surprised how good you feel when you reach out and you get that help if needed. Stay away from unnecessary negativity, from people who complain too much about very minor things. I had a friend years ago with the same physical disability as me, but her physical disability was a little worse, and she was in a wheelchair. And in college, she got a boyfriend, and she loved this boyfriend, or she thought she loved this boyfriend. And the boyfriend eventually broke up with her because she had a physical disability. Now, he knew that she had a physical disability before he started dating her. It wasn't something that she hid. And furthermore, it's not something that she could hide if she wanted to. She couldn't hide her disability because she was in a wheelchair. And by the way, if you have a disability, tell people when you get into a relationship with them, because they need to know what they are getting into, and a lot of times when people don't know, they hold it against you. I do not know this from personal experience. I always am very honest about my physical disability, even though sometimes I'll be honest, I don't want to be. But I am, because I'm an honest human being, and I don't want people to accuse me of not being honest, and I don't want people to use my dishonesty about my disability, or dishonesty, not my dishonesty, because like I said, I've never been dishonest, but I don't want people to use it against me. I don't want people to say, well, you never told me you had a disability, and therefore I'm leaving. No, you're going to know about my disability and everything that it entails if you're a person who's important to me, who's entering my life. You're going to know about it, because you're not going to be able to use it as an excuse. Because a lot of times people do that. Um, I've had friends afraid to talk about their disability, and they've had breakups, and the person has said that they weren't honest about the disability, and they get very upset, and the person with the disability feels really bad about it, and the person without the disability feels victimized, or they don't feel victimized at all. They're just using it as an excuse because they would never date or have anything to do with someone with a disability. It's true. It happens, and I'm thankful to my disability, because I have gone through a lot of things with my disability, but my disability keeps very shallow people away from me. I don't really have to deal with shallow people, because shallow people are not attracted to me in any way. And what by attracted, I don't mean just physically attracted. I mean attracted to me as a friend or as a potential date. They're just not attracted. They want nothing to do with me. And that's fine, because I want nothing to do with shallow, negative people who are just negative to be negative. Now, you can be negative because you're sad and you're going through something, but when you're just negative and you just want to complain, that I have a really hard time with. But anyway, my friend who is in a wheelchair, when her boyfriend broke up with her, instead of being angry with him, she was disgusted with herself. Just disgusted with herself. She went out for modeling jobs, but not because she wanted to model, because she wanted to prove that as a disabled person, she could be just as pretty as a quote-unquote non-disabled person. And she was negative every day, all day. So it became very hard to speak to her on a regular basis because every time she opened her mouth, something negative would come out. And it was something negative about herself. She would say things like, if my disability were cured, he would come back to me. You have the same disability, and the same thing's going to happen to you. And eventually, I had to tell her that if I were her, and I thought of myself the way she thought of herself, it would be very difficult for me to get out of bed in the morning, and that she needed to snap out of it and know that she was beautiful on her own, and to stop doing this to herself and the people around her. And I hope that I helped her by saying that. Because this guy who broke up with her because he had a disability and then went on to say that he didn't want to touch her in public because he was embarrassed, he wasn't worth her time. He wasn't worth her energy. But a year after he broke up with her, he still had her time and he still had her energy. And everything that she did was motivated by the fact that this guy had broken up with her. When she was modeling, I asked her, do you want to model because you want to model? Or do you want to model because you want to prove to everybody else that you're pretty enough to model? And her answer was, I don't know. And I said, before you get too far into this modeling, you should know if that is what you want. If that is what you want, then I support you. But if that's not what you want, then go do something else. Because she had never wanted to model, and all of a sudden she was on this modeling kick. She had always wanted to be a nutritionist, and suddenly all she talked about was modeling, which again is fine. In order to be happy also, you need to do what makes you the career that makes you happy. I also have a friend who hates her job. Just hates her job and won't quit because she's afraid that she won't get another job. I understand her. I understand her completely. But I hate the idea that she gets up every morning and goes to work for long hours and hates every minute of it. Again, I understand that she's afraid of not having money, especially with the economy the way it is. I just don't like that she hates that much of her day, because her day is her time. So again, be happy, guys. And I hope that this video was helpful to you. Also, check out my tag called the "It Made Me Stronger" tag. It will be in the cards. Thanks for watching.